Hi, welcome to my 2018 personal challenge, which is to learn ACDC's Thunderstruck on the banjo. I've had this banjo for a couple of years. I've never really picked it up and seriously learned how to play it, so I've decided that's all got to change in 2018 and I'm going to do it properly. So I thought I would just chart my progress from the beginning of the year right to the end. Learned two things of note this week, and I've been practicing every day this week. First one to do with the plectrum that I'm using, the second one to do with the history of the song. But let's deal with plectrums first. My preferred plectrum for this, and we use a plectrum for this song because it's all done on a single string, is this little thin wafer one. My friends who also play guitar and everything take the piss because my choice of plectrum is so skinny and thin and floppy. So anyway, this is where I've got to so far this week with the intro. Right, okay, so still far too slow. But the one thing I noticed was when I tried to speed up with this plectrum, I was hitting more and more dead notes, and I seemed to hit like a speed limit, and I couldn't actually get any further on. So I decided to have a go, just for the sake of seeing what would happen with a different plectrum. So I got this other one, which is a bit thicker, still flexy. Something very interesting happened. I don't know whether it's going to come across in the video, but we'll talk about it. Basically, I could go faster with a thicker plectrum, but more importantly, it sounded a lot better. Now, there's maybe some experienced banjo players out there going, well, duh, of course it does. I didn't know, so this is something I've learned this week. So anyway, I decided to have another go with a slightly thicker plectrum. So I've got this one here, which is even thicker than the red one. Yeah, dead notes and everything, just because I'm getting a bit carried away. But I have actually noticed through the week that actually the thicker the plectrum, the better the sound and the faster I can go. So I'm going for a thicker plectrum from this point on. Now, what was the second thing I learned? I did a little bit of research into the song itself because I wanted to know where it came from. I wanted to pick up, see if I could find any tips, you know, from the original. Wikipedia has an entry for this particular song, for Thunderstruck, and it explains that the riff for this song came from apparently a trick that the lead guitarist Angus had learnt on his guitar. And it doesn't go into details of what the trick is, so I decided to do a bit more research. So I went to the I had a look at the actual official music video for this song. It was filmed at Brixton Academy back in 1990, and it shows Angus on stage, and there's shots in there where you can see what he's doing with his fingers. And I was specifically looking for those to see if I could learn anything. What I did learn was quite profound. He's not using two hands at all, he's only using one hand. He's actually using just his fretting fingers. He's not strumming the strings at all, it's all hammer-ons and hammer-offs. So I didn't know whether this was something to do with the fact that it was a music video and therefore it wasn't real, it was just for the show. So I decided to do a bit of research myself with my own electric guitar and decided to see if it was possible. So I had to go. Now, my hammer-ons and hammer-offs are rubbish, so I'm muting the strings that I don't need with this, but I'm not going to actually strum. So this is, yeah, so let's have a go. It works. This is kind of astounding to me. I don't know whether you knew this or not, but it turns out that the entire riff can be done with just one hand, with just your fretting fingers. The problem is, of course, I've set myself a challenge of doing this on a banjo, and you can't do hammer-ons and hammer-offs on a banjo unless you don't want anyone else to hear what you're doing. So on the banjo, you have to strum. So it turns out that what I've actually done is make life twice as difficult as I need to by choosing that I'm going to learn this song on a banjo. It would have been a lot easier to try and learn it on the guitar. But hey ho, let's crack on and let's see how far I get in another week. Cheers guys.